All right. So first off, when you go to projects, you can click for your new project, and then you'll get a choice between movie and trailer, and you're going to want to click movie. You don't want the trailers necessarily, especially if you're going to speak. It's too loud. There's just no way. So if you have already taken some pictures or video, you'd find them all in here, and you can click on the ones that you'd like to use for the piece, for the play. Funny. All right, so let's say we're making a video of all the crazy pictures that Samantha has taken. Oh, this is great too because a lot of them are tall and I can show you the difference. So I click on whatever ones I wanted and then create movie. And then it will put it in there for me. Now, you might not do it in the same order. You may have to switch the order, and you can just do that by dragging things around. You can click and you can delete. But one big thing I want to show you is when you click on something like a video or a picture. I know this is kind of a picture of nothing, but I want to call your attention to this Ken Burns thing here. This is the one that makes the picture zoom in and out on different things. Let me see if I can really find a better version. Oh, this is a great example. All right. So number one, we always want to take pictures. I've told you over and over again, we want to take it landscape style, because when you take it portrait style, first off you get this, and if I were to play that, you can see the Ken Burns effect is on because it's moving it, and it's a little slow transition because I'm screen reflecting off of my camera, but it zooms in weird and looks awful. So what I'm going to show you is that's your thing to get everything off that you're not going to want it. So if you click Ken Burns enabled, you want to disable it because that will help you. You won't have that silly thing. And then that way you can, if you do have what a flattering picture. If you do have a portrait type, you can move it this way. But if you do it with landscape, again, I'm going to click on and I'm going to disable this Ken's Burn effect. Because then I can just have the picture the way I want it, and if I play it, it's playing, and but it's just going to stay there instead of zooming in. So with the Ken's Burn, if I click on this picture, you can see it's disabled, and that will make that picture just stay still. So that's really good for when you're using text, and when you just want, or if you just want a picture to stay still. Now, if you want it to zoom into someone specific or something specific on the slide, that's what I've done for my next slide. So my next slide, I'll see how well it transfers for you. It looks like this. Because Ken's Burn effect is enabled and it's zooming in onto Samantha's gum. It'll be much smoother than that. Again, I'm like reflecting from my iPad to this. And what you want to do for that is you have the Ken's Burn enabled, and you can say where it says pinch to start and pinch to end. So if I wanted to fix that, I click on this one here, and I can see where I want to start. So if I want to start, a lot of times you start with a big picture and then you zoom into something small. So if I wanted to zoom in on just her eyeball right there, then when I played my picture here, it would start with her face on the gum and it would zoom into the eyeball. Okay. Now, you can also fix the time on that by making the picture longer. This would make the time longer, so it would take longer to do it. Of course, it's not, but it's kind of glitching on it, but it's going in. All right, so that's one thing. So I really like when you're, what happens is sometimes kids put text on there, and then it automatically zooms in with the titles. So let's talk about titles for a second. Isn't showing you enough of my screen. Down here is where you can add titles, and you can add it to a picture, or you can add it to a blank screen. Sometimes people just take a picture of a blank screen and put a title there, but you can click on these titles, and a lot of times, like I said, if you do that zoom, it's hard. So I'm going to choose focus, and then I'm going to click on my title here. So again, we shouldn't necessarily be writing a huge amount of text. Oh no. Gum. Okay. So there's my text gum, right? So it'll play over here, and I can decide where it goes. Gum. Right, and then will disappear. And it zooms in. All right. So if I had put a title on this one while I'm zooming in, sometimes what you're trying to say disappears, especially if you put too much words. This expand one, I really don't like because sometimes it expands too big. And if you put too much stuff in there, if I just put so much stuff in there, and that's how I want it, and I want it to, but I want it to stay on the same line, as it expands, it's gonna disappear. So if I play that, my text expands, some of it starts to disappear. And I don't necessarily want it to do that. So you can see the letters get cut off on the side. So I'm not a crazy big fan of the expand title. But those are two big things. And then when it comes to adding audio, over here's audio. And you can see the little wavelengths on this video, so you can see there's sound of this video. It won't match up, but right now you're good.
Guys, yeah, tomorrow's Mother's Day, so all you mothers watching,
This is not
Happy Mother's Day. And if you're watching it and it's not Mother's Day, still Happy Mother's Day. And if kids,
but you can see on here, if you work on your volume, you can lower it. You can raise your voice. Remember, you want your voice to be louder than any music you were going to put in. So make sure you have that as well. Speed, if you need something to go faster, the rabbit, or slower towards the little turtle there. And then I guess the last one would be how to add music. So up here in the plus, you have your different media, and you could choose down here your audio, and that usually takes you to your music. There's some soundtracks already there. There are some sound effects. You can, and I will show you some links on my Google slide that I have you guys doing. So play around with it. That's why I wanted you to get the iMovie updated. If you still haven't gotten iMovie updated, you can do that with Miss Colpoys or Mr. Hopkins.